Hey everyone, how are you doing? Let's talk about Open Door. Let's talk about Applied Digital. These are two stocks, very different companies, but I think there's still money to be made here. I, let's just go right into open here and have the open conversation because this is this stock right now is not only in it's not only being talked about on YouTube now. It's in threads on Reddit. It's all over community boards here. It's on TikTok, for God's sakes. People are talking about it. So there is really an army behind this stock right now. It has really gotten out of control, and I think it's going to continue. So I personally believe before I say anything what I'm about to say, please understand, I am not telling you, like, I don't have like a magic genie lamp where I think like, hey, this is actually going to work out. Now, as someone who's been in the market, like maybe some of you, we've been in the market for quite some time. We can kind of spot plays. We can see what's going to happen, things before they happen here, when all the right formulas really start to connect here with plays. And right now, talking about the long-term aspect of what open door technologies can do, it's looking positive. It's looking great. Obviously, some things are being redirected with the company, and the future is, can we get rate cuts? And that is kind of what goes into the short term conversation right now with open. So the stock, obviously the market sold off yesterday. Everything sold off. And I pretty much, if somebody played this from listen to me, I guess, yesterday saying that the stock is sold off now, it's probably going to swing back up into the zone. Well, if you did that, congratulations, because you just made great money. The stock yesterday, obviously, like I just said, it sold off with the market yesterday. The market sold off before closed because it was waiting for Nvidia to release quarterlies, and I mean, one company, for God's sakes, is holding the whole market hostage. But that's the world we're living in right now. So Nvidia came out with quarterlies. They were good. Everything's great here. And now the market today rebound. The S&P hit all new highs. And now you're probably watching this. It's Friday, and we'll see what the market does here. Now, obviously, at 1 o'clock today, we're having the Feds are talking. CPP report. Is it CPP reports? What did I say it was going to be? CP. Yeah, commercial paper, selected interest. Yeah. Anyway, the Feds are going to be talking. Okay. So we're going to see what happens here. So saying that, the market could really teeter-totter anywhere. But right now, I think the main bloodstream of the market right now is focused on, hey, we're getting rate cuts. We're pretty sure here we're going to get rate cuts. Okay, great. All right. Now, this is where the whole bloodline, where all the ampage, everything is going into Open Door right now. Fantastic. So I think if you're able to buy, I'm going to be honest, and like I said, take this all with a grain of salt. This is kind of a gamble. I want you to understand right now. I'm talking about short-term play right now from what I'm seeing, okay? So and this is why this is second channel stuff. This is, not a lot of people are going to see this, so this is why I'm talking about it. But what I would expect to happen here in short term, if we, more than likely, what it looks like, we're going in September, the market is still pushing heavily. We'll see how the market ends out here today, when you're watching this. I would expect leading into September, leading into the Fed talking, from what it looks like, we're getting rate cuts. More than likely, the market is going to at least hold strong at this S&P at this 6,500, pushing a little more into that range. Now, if we get even maybe some clues today that the market is, that the Feds are going to do rate cuts, that's going to do even more wonders if they make even the slightest hint of something like that. Open Door. If it gets confirmed, now this play, I think I could see this in my head how this is going to go. Open Door is going to hold this anywhere from mid $4 range to mid $5 range. I think going back up into $5 is more than likely going to happen here before we know it. Okay, not that big of a deal. Okay, been there, it's touched it. It'll probably do it again here in a minute. So leading up to the Fed's talking here in September, I would highly expect bank stocks, REIT stocks, Open Door here, particularly talking about this, it's going to push up. The question is, how far can this stock push up leading into the Fed conversation? So if this stock, let's make this a fairy tale story here of what we want. If this stock is sitting somewhere around $6 to $7 leading up to the Fed conversation here in September, Feds come out and say, hey, we're doing rate cuts, I would highly expect this stock would shoot somewhere up into an $8 to $9, maybe $10 range. Now, on top of that, how soon are we getting the rate cuts? How many rate cuts are we getting this year? And what is going to be there's going to be a violent push here on Open-Door. It is going to be ridiculous. There is an army behind the stock right now. Like, I'm trying to inform you. If you don't know, I'm trying to tell you. I'm seeing everyone. I mean, I got friends messaging me about this thing, like, what's going on here? We're seeing it. Like, if you're in the investing communities, like watching what's going on, it's obvious that this stock is still very, very alive, and it's going to do something here in September if we get these rate cuts. But even off the expectation that we're getting rate cuts, I would say survival rate of this high $4, $5 range is very likely. That's a really big thing right there. But if we get rate cuts here, this stock more than likely is going to become ridiculously high in a matter of minutes. So I think this stock, if that happens, is going to make people extremely rich. I think people are going to, be very wealthy by this time next year if they're holding this stock and we get rate cuts. But it's a gamble. It's a swing trade. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a swing trade. Now, I would tell you, if you get caught up in these moments of high profit zone, there's nothing wrong with taking profit. Take profit, for God's sakes. Take half the profit. Do something. Get your initial investment out plus, another 10, 15, 20, 30% on top of that. Pay yourself something here for the move. I'm highly speculating that this will be the move of the market for this stock. If this hype, this play goes into September, this stock is going to get a lot more vicious in movement here. So, I know people may be upset with this conversation because there's people that love talking about swing trading, day trading, and then there's people like despise it. I mean, just people like, I do not want to hear about swing trades. I hate that conversation. I get it. I'm an investor. I do all kinds of investing. I do swing tradings. I'll make some day trades if I see some things moving here. But I do a lot of long term. I would say the core of my investing life is long term. That's really what it is. I'm a long term investor, 100%. But I also will make swing trades. I also will move, calls, options, play the market here. Play it. The market's not going to be kind to you. Don't be kind to it. Take profit where there's profit, 100% here. Don't be naive to think that the market's not gonna, the market wants you to sit in here and, just lose your money. It wants to take your money away. So don't let it. This is the way it is. So that is pretty much where I'm at with this at the moment. Now, talking about the long term of the stock, yeah, I'm watching 100%. I think it's a very unique. I'm all about AI stocks right now. I mean, I'm drinking the juice on AI. So for anybody, it's like, why the longevity of this company is phenomenal. Why are you not saying that? I very much am going to be talking about the stock more than likely months down the road. Really, I am. I'm watching the quarterlies, and obviously it's a new company. There's a lot to go on here. They're looking for a CEO, for God's sakes. There's stuff going on. But if this company can go into September, get a CEO, we get rate cuts. Quarterlies will be talked about here again. See what they can pull off here. This is going to be a very interesting play here for this company. So, just be careful with it. Take profit, man. Don't. It's a very risky play right now. It's a very high stock. But two, I will say this and then I'll shut up about it. If we do get rate cuts somewhere in September, it's hard to say what the rest of the story is going to be, because are we getting one rate cut? Or are we getting multiple rate cuts? We could be in this position where the market is about to do parabolical gains, the United States stock market, where, if we're getting multiple cuts here by the end of the year, every month, every 30, 40, 50 days, we may just be going like a whoa, whoa, bro, that's like a leapfrog of, money volume with the whole market with stocks. I mean, we could be going into just ridiculous movement here with the market. So obviously, Open has been doing good on revenue. Things have been doing good. They've been making money here. So we'll see what continues here. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen here with tomorrow with the market. And yeah, so that's really where I'm at with it, friends. I'm getting so many comments about this stock right now, so I just want to put that out there. Applied Digital here, I mean, this is very much a unraveling, unraveling in a good way stock company. I think this is probably a stock that could easily be $20 here by the end of the year, depending where quarterlies continue to flow. I mean, you're talking about a company right now that's literally like putting, nails in wood right now. They are expanding their factory, they're building on. I mean, things are going on. This is a very real situation of a very new expanding company right now. But the thing is too, and I've talked about this, is that they're making really decent money. This is one thing that you're hearing about a lot right now on these stock channels, like the news channels and stuff. They're talking about data centers. Data centers right now are becoming these new cash cows in the market that a lot of people may not be seeing. It's very interesting because, there's no way to say this without sounding mean, but I know a few older investors, like people that are older than me. And, when I run into an investor, say like they're like in their, it's like 50s, 60s. I love talking to those people, hearing about, I love running into an older investor, like somebody who's been doing it longer. They've been in the market longer and they've been through a lot of storms. But I will always notice something that a lot of them, like they're just now tapping into tech, but a lot of them too, they're buying the more expensive tech. And, I was talking to one recently a few months ago, and I was talking to someone, an older investor, and they were talking about, tech stocks, kind of just like your bread and butter stocks. They were like, yeah, I'm putting a lot of money into Apple right now, stuff, in Meta. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. It's not really exciting, but that's cool. And they were asking me like, what do I think like the new movements in the market are? Where's things going? And I started talking about data centers. I was like, data centers are really becoming like this underground thing that a lot of investors are starting to look at right now, where you have these buildings that are essentially like asylums for like security with huge security systems that are just there just to hold data. I mean, it's really just that simple. Of course, they've got software, they got all this stuff, but then there's the whole crypto part of it too. But staying on this topic, a lot of that generation, like they're not really seeing the value in it. But what we're seeing right now is that companies are paying crazy amounts of money to have facilities hold their data. So these data, Applied Digital here being, kind of really in that conversation, we're seeing them make really good money. Now, obviously, quarterlies this year, I've said this, but they've been up and down. But the thing is that they've been still very high. I mean, the company is still making really decent money. I mean, they're very much in this new range of profit, so that's why they're still getting looked at quite a bit. Listen, they're not going anywhere from what we can see right now. They're building on, they're expanding, they're making money, and obviously they're spending a lot of money too, no doubt about it. But it's very new company, so I'm very interested. I'm very interested in these kind of plays right now, and I don't know that data centers will. I don't know. I think this is so futuristic for the market right now. I've talked about this, but I think every year there is a theme in the market. This year it's software, a little still chips, a lot of it. A few years back it was EVs, clean energy, all that kind of stuff. I think the next movements in the market are going to be robotics. Then, somewhere in the market it's going to be quantum computing. But I think maybe later in the future, maybe sooner than we think, it could be data centers, could be a really big topic. Who can make the biggest one? Who who can make the most revenue, just to essentially just sit there and collect money, and how much can they hold and how much can they charge companies and who's got the most. It's really interesting concept when you really dig into it. It's just money. And I suspect a lot of these data centers like this will be great stocks for the future of paying out dividends. If you really think about that, really think about what these things are. I could see something like that. So friends, listen, I'm very interested where Applied Digital is going. I think it's a very interesting stock. If they come out with another quarterly here that's banging and doing really well, I'm not going to be shocked to see this stock really, do even higher prices. I think it's the fact that it's still holding this $15-16 range is really, really encouraging. Yeah, friends, listen, take care of yourself. I wish everyone the best of luck. I really do want to see everyone do well in the market. It's such a great feeling. It's such a great thing for you to do. Yeah, friends, take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.